Okay. Congratulations to Iowa State. They won it. The message in the locker room is a couple things. First of all, when you play a team that's as good as them and the program that they've built and where they're at, you can't come out of the gate and just spot them 20. Obviously, we weren't dialed in at the beginning enough. Something just wasn't there, to be honest with you. Don't read into that wrong. I thought we were emotionally ready to play, but there was just something, really on both sides of the ball that wasn't there, and we didn't have the fast start, especially on defense that we'd had before. I think the second thing coming out of that deal is, it was very interesting to see us fight back. You get it to 20-10, and we fought. We came out of halftime, put a good drive together. Unfortunately, it finishes with a field goal, and then it's right back. And we almost had a walk-off, basically, right there, and they get another lead, and then we kind of fought back. And so, on the one front, it seemed like it was about to crumble, and was going to be not in the game, and then all of a sudden we had a few guys that step up and make plays. We had a pick, and then unfortunately we don't convert it into a touchdown late after DeMarcus's interception. But we had some guys fight. The biggest thing with the game of football that I talk to our players about is the game of football. When you invest at a high level and you practice at a high level and you're accountable and you're ready to roll every single week, it'll pay you back tenfold, and it's a tremendous game and it's awesome. But it could also be an ugly game from an individual standpoint when you don't invest the right way, and it can be something that sticks out. And so, obviously, when you have a game like this, I don't know what the final was, 10 points, but it's every loss to me is always disappointing. We'll go back and we'll regroup, and we'll set our sights on the next one and try to get back to 4-4. And obviously, we're still fighting to get bowl eligibility, and I think those are right in our sights. Our guys know that, and we got to find a way to put this thing together and play better, obviously, and give a better effort and find a way to go win on the road. So it's kind of the message coming out of the locker room.
Coach, what did you see from Brock Purdy today that made him so effective for the Cyclones?
Same thing I've seen for whatever games I've studied, all 6 of them this year, and I went back and watched a couple last year. He's efficient, knows where a rush is coming, kind of moves a little bit in the pocket, and sometimes it's, you just got a little bit of an innate ability. Told you that, guys, in the Monday press conference. I saw it, and he did it, and he's very accurate, and he gives his guys chances to make plays.
Coming into this game, Breece Hall had 212 scrimmage yards for the season. He put up 256 today. What was it about him that made him so hard to contain?
He's a good player. He runs hard. I think a couple times we don't set the edge of the defense. Any of those backs at Iowa State could have run around it when we don't set the edge of the defense. He does a nice job of sticking a foot and getting north and south. He's a good back. He's a good young back.
Matt, you kind of alluded to it 2 weeks ago against Oklahoma State, last week against Baylor. He came out and played well defensively early. Are you still kind of teaching guys how to sustain effort from week to week to week?
What's the question?
I said, are you guys still teaching, instilling how to maintain that high level of effort and intensity from week to week to week?
We are. Yeah, we're still teaching accountability. We're still teaching day-to-day discipline. We're still teaching how to practice and how to get ready for a game on Friday and Saturday morning. And I think a lot of the effort was there. I'm certain, in a game like this, when there are a couple balls that get loose on you and you don't set the edge of the defense, we're going to see some effort issues because we're going to make sure we don't deviate from anything in our culture and our foundation that we're setting. So, Don, to answer your question, I think we're still teaching a lot of things. And I think we were after wins as well.
Coach, from your perspective, what's caused maybe the lack of efficiency off of turnovers offensively, turning the points?
That's a good question. I'm not sure I know exactly what that answer is, from today. until we go back and look at today's tape a little bit. But, you know, you always want to ride a little bit of momentum. Football can be an emotional game, and riding momentum, and certainly you hope to play off that momentum. And, you know, I think we just had one turnover today. Certainly at that point in the game, we certainly needed that to turn that into 7 points.
2 weeks ago, Duffy threw for 424 yards with a 9.6 average. This week, 200 plus yards, but he was only averaging 4.6. What was it Iowa State was doing that made you kind of want to stay short passes underneath stuff?
Well, you know, in so much from that is we weren't effective. We didn't do a good job, I didn't think, blocking on the perimeter when some of that stuff was thrown. We had some shots early, protection breakdown. Jet didn't see it. A couple times we had guys open. We certainly need to take more shots. We need to execute better shots, to be dead honest with you.
What was going through your mind after the missed 42-yarder, after the interception by Warren?
You know, kind of like probably, I don't know, yours, I don't know. Are you on our side? I mean, you're a tech guy. I mean, I was disappointed. You're like, you know, it's an emotional game, you know, but I try to keep level head in a lot of that stuff. But, you know, Trey's had a good season. He just didn't get his hips through, you know. He knew it right when he came over. He said, Coach, I didn't get my hips through it. And, you know, that's on me. It's absolutely within his range. And so, you know, he wanted to make it.
Coach, when you say you need to take more shots downfield, does that mean you need
Well,
to?
you gotta, you know, when I say take more shots, don't read into that David didn't call enough shots. There's certainly probably internally we'll look at a handful that maybe you could have called a little bit more, but you also can't put yourself in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, 2nd and 10. I mean, any of us know what's coming next, you know, in terms of that. And so, you know, first down efficiency, I didn't think was very good, and some of that was related to my answer over there a while ago is I don't think we blocked on the perimeter very well today.
To follow up on that, when you said you're in 2nd and 10, 3rd and 8, those sorts of things, you said you know what's coming next. By that you mean extra pressure, or it's going to be hard to?
I bet they didn't pressure 5 times.
Right, when you say you know what's coming next,
They're
you
going
mean
to put right on top of guys, and they're going to have underneath coverage, and we can't. You know, it's going to make it a whole lot more difficult. 3rd and 10 is not real fun to be in. You know, the national average is if you get over 20% of 3rd and 10, you know, you're operating at a really, really high level. You know, I like to try to get our chances a little bit better at that. We all do. That's what I meant, just by trying to stay out there and long.
Coach, late in the game, I think it was like 4th and 3 down 10. Do you ever think about going for it on 4th down, or what the effectiveness of your defense is at the decision?
Talk about 4th and 3 from the 3.
From the 34, I think it was. After the missed field goal, I think you guys got to stop defensively and punt it back. And then
4th and on our minus. Yeah, good point. Because that can be debated either, you know, with all of us today, and we can kind of debate it internally. You're talking about on the minus. Yeah. At that point, you know, you go, okay, we're going to go do or die right here, because it was 3 score possession. We had that conversation. It's either do or die. You don't get it right there, the guy's going to be in field goal range. He's got the wind behind him, and now it's going to be ball game at that point. Excuse me, it was 2-score game at that point. We elected to kick it and try to get a 3 and out right there. So I think that probably is a 50-50 call.
That's staying kind of on the same line of thinking. Back in the first quarter, I think it's your very first possession, you have 4th and 3 at the plus 41, and he punted there, and he thought that going for it that early in the game?
No. Hang 10. Hang 10. We're going to try to pooch it up and catch it inside the 5. I think that's the second one in 7 games that's gone into the end zone. And really, Myler just lost a little side of it. It kind of came behind Myler. But the target area was off just a little bit. We're trying to pin that thing inside the 5. Obviously, you look at it from one standpoint, it's net. Wasn't very much when it goes into the 20, into the goal line. But I had a lot of confidence in Austin in that area.
early on, how much of Purdy's success was his ability to kind of stand in that pocket and find his receivers? some a little more pressure on?
His success was based on what?
Based on maybe not getting as much pressure as you wanted.
I think any quarterback's success is always based on that. You let him sit back there and comb his hair, he's going to have, especially a good quarterback like Brock. He can get all the way through the progressions, and then he pulled it and ran a little bit, but that his legs didn't hurt us. I think a lack of pressure on the quarterback hurt us more than anything.
What kind of matchup problem did the big tight end do for you in the back?
A little bit. They exposed us a little bit there in terms of the one-on-one matchups with our safety. One time a corner. They certainly had that advantage.
Matt, with all the Mackey Award guys that David had at Missouri and what those guys present, is that what y'all would like to get to?
I'd love to have, tight ends that you can be able to go from 11 to 12 personnel, and they got into 13 personnel, a little bit more than they've shown throughout the season. But 6, 7 tight ends that are big and go up and get it. If there's any out there they want to come play for the Red Raiders, we'll take them.
When you mentioned a lack of pressure a few moments ago, how do you kind of address that in practice this week? Is that like a preparation
It's
day?
probably a combination of calls, and do we have to add guys to the pressure? Obviously, you do that, you thin out your secondary, and that's a catch-22 for a D coordinator. If you're not getting pressure with the 3 or the 4, because we have an add-in, so most of the time it is a 4-man rush because we have an add-in backer, just like most 3-down fronts do, and so it's fundamentals effort by those guys. Got to improve, got to be better. Credit their guys. Credit to them too. I mean, they did a good job of protecting him. The big tackles did, but certainly you either add guys to the mix, or you gotta get home, and we weren't getting home. And then when we were adding guys, they exposed us in the back end, and like I said, we weren't as sharp on the back end as we need to be.
Speaking of that, with the guys that you have down in the secondary with Smith out and with Adrian Fry being gone early today, you basically have 5 guys that have basically you're playing with 5 guys that have experience and not much depth behind that. Was that a factor at all today?
It's always a factor. I mean, we're thin. We're thin. We've had injuries. You didn't hear me say, I'm not going to give us an excuse. We had no excuse program, I promise you that. But you're correct in your observation. I mean, it makes you thin. The guys are playing a lot of snaps, and that's part of us. We got to develop that. We've got to recruit that, and we've got to continue to add depth in a lot of areas, not just the secondary.
Had any early trainers or doctors told you anything early about Adrian?
No, not yet, Don. I should know by Monday.
Got time for about 2 more. Martin made a catch today. Is that a situation where he was kind of getting into the rotation due to injury, or was it just something you saw from him in practice this week?
Injury, yeah, just to help with Mannix and Rigdon.
You've had to deal with a few 11 a.m. starts. I mean, not to make excuses, are you a fan of these, or does it change possibly the way the games are starting for you sometimes?
No, because I think, 2 weeks ago we started real well. So at 11 a.m. we'll be ready to go. 3, 6, doesn't matter. That'll never be an excuse coming out of me or our program.